Stuttgart's Porsche Arena is a court where every great in women's tennis history has played. Icons like Serena Williams and Maria Sharapova have graced its courts, as have today's Grand Slam winners. Yet on April 9, 2026, the airport cameras weren't there for a household name. Their focus was on royalty. 20-year-old Alexandra Eala landed a spot directly in the main draw for the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix when Olympic champion Qinwen Zheng pulled out with an injury. A planned qualifying attempt for the up-and-coming Filipino player instantly transformed into a prized entry at one of the top WTA 500 indoor clay tournaments. In just a matter of hours, media outlets, YouTube creators, and social feeds in the Philippines erupted with a single electrifying theme: viral's arrival in Germany. Daluyong Sigawan, a million fans were roaring, the chants were already building. And the events that followed served as another reminder Alexandra Eala doesn't need to hold a trophy to command the spotlight of an entire event. Only 48 hours before Eala left the court in Linz, suffering a tough round of 16 defeat against Jelena Ostapenko. She was up 5-1 in the second set, holding 4 set points, but the experienced Latvian player mounted a comeback, reeling off 6 consecutive games to win 6-4, 7-5. That defeat was painful. Her ranking hovered near number 46. The European clay circuit had been harsh during her initial trials at this tier of competition. And then the news broke. On X, the platform once known as Twitter, the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix confirmed that Alexandra Eala was in for Qinwen Zheng in the main draw. Sadly, Qinwen has to pull out because of an injury, but fans can now anticipate seeing Alexandra take her place. That one announcement sparked a phenomenon. Timelines were instantly flooded by Filipino media and fan pages covering her arrival. Clips of Eala moving through the airport poised, determined, with racket bags in tow, blew up online immediately. The headlines treated her trip to Stuttgart as if it were a diplomatic mission. The supporters who just filled the seats in Linz, creating an incredible atmosphere in Austria, were already planning their travel to Germany. The global Pinoy community doesn't ask for an invitation to support their champion. Imagine being a tournament director in Stuttgart. You post a standard notice about an injury replacement. Before the day is over, your tournament is a major trend all over Southeast Asia. Europe's Filipino community is activating with the force of a political movement. Inquiries about tickets surge. The social media chatter pivots from the usual big names. 10 stars to a 20-year-old lefty who's a newcomer to this very tournament. This is the distinct influence Alexandra Eala brings to every court she steps on. The signs were already there back in Linz. Following her first-round victory over local favorite Julia Grabber, Eala took the mic for her on-court interview and created a moment that transcended the sport. She started in English, expressing her gratitude to the fans and the event for their kind reception. She then transitioned smoothly into Tagalog, speaking straight to her Filipino fans with heartfelt appreciation and clear emotion. In response, the stadium erupted in applause that needed no translation. Now she arrives in Stuttgart, an event known for its storied indoor clay courts that forge reputations by and challenge the greatest. Eala enters directly into the main draw. The lineup is loaded. You have Iga Świątek, Coco Gauff, Elena Rybakina, and other multi-Grand Slam winners who are fixtures in the top 10, almost like they live there. This isn't just a friendly welcome, it's a trial by fire. But her fans don't see this as a simple courtesy spot. To them, this is her coronation. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix isn't just any WTA 500 event. It has history, a dedicated European fan base, and plays on a surface demanding patience, heavy topspin, and psychological strength. These are the very skills Eala has spent years honing at the Rafa Nadal Academy. Her powerful lefty forehand and her style of play from the baseline are perfectly suited for clay courts. However, turning her dominance from juniors and practice sessions into wins at the senior level on Europe's clay, even this quicker indoor variant, is still the final hurdle. The potential upside is huge, but so are the risks. Eala's first opponent in the draw will likely be a formidable challenge. Speculation suggests she'll face Leylah Fernandez, another lefty known for her tenacity and experience. Past that matchup, the path only gets tougher. Yet, that's never deterred her fans from coming out in huge numbers. We're seeing the Eala effect on full display once more. She's a young star who packs arenas, creates worldwide buzz, and transforms standard tournament news into major cultural events. From the Sunshine Double on the hard courts to the European clay season, that incredible energy follows her everywhere. It's a passionate, organized, and truly personal connection. And the loss in Linz remains a crucial lesson. Giving up a 5-1 lead to an experienced player like Ostapenko underscored the razor-thin margins in the pro ranks and the mental toughness that is still developing. But this fast transition to Stuttgart offers an instant opportunity to put those lessons into practice on an even grander stage. The tournament directors already get what the rest of the world is just starting to figure out. Alexandra Eala is more than just a rising star on the charts. She's a narrative. She's a symbol. This 20-year-old bears the hopes of a nation with a calm poise and genuine happiness. Don't forget her name. Picture her Oy Pilipinas Instagram post finding a Filipino shop in Linz just before hitting the Porsche Arena courts, a place where legends have clashed. All eyes will be on her. Filipino flags will be everywhere, and the tennis world is about to witness talent fueled by incredible faith. For Alex Eala, this is more than just another competition. This is simply the next step in a saga that feels more significant than any single match. Subscribe if you're following her journey. Leave your predictions in the comments. How deep do you think her run will be in Stuttgart? Will it be the first round, the quarterfinals? Or will she make a surprising push that electrifies the whole clay season? I'm so pleased with the reception I've gotten, and for all the Filipinos here. There are so many of them. Stuttgart's Porsche Arena is a hallowed ground that has hosted every icon in women's tennis from Serena and Sharapova to the sport's reigning champions. Every one of them made history on this very ground. Yet on April 9, 2026, the cameras at the Stuttgart airport weren't there for a proven victor. They were there for a queen. 20-year-old Alexandra Eala gained direct entry to the main draw of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix after Qinwen Zheng pulled out with an injury. What was supposed to be a qualifying challenge was suddenly transformed into a golden chance on one of the most respected indoor clay courts on the WTA Tour. Almost instantly, Filipino media YouTube channels and social networks blew up with one thrilling message: her viral landing in Germany. Dala Angawing Million, the passion of a million fans, was already surging. You could hear the cheers building long before she played her first point. And the events that followed proved yet again that Alexandra Eala can captivate an entire tournament without ever lifting a trophy. Just 48 hours before Eala had left the court in Linz after a devastating round of 16 loss to Elena Ostapenko. She had been up 5-1 in the second set, holding 4 set points, but the veteran Latvian mounted a furious comeback, winning 6 straight games for a 6-4, 7-5 triumph. That defeat was painful. Her rank was stalled at around number 46. The European clay circuit had been unkind during her first major tests at this level. Then news broke that changed her entire trajectory. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix made the announcement Alexandra Eala would replace Qinwen Zheng in the main draw. Unfortunately, Qin has to pull out due to an injury, but now fans can anticipate seeing Alexandra take her spot. That one statement sparked a phenomenon. News outlets and fan pages in the Philippines immediately swamped social media with coverage of her arrival. Clips of Eala walking through the airport, composed and focused with her bags in tow, instantly became a sensation. Headlines presented her trip to Stuttgart like an official state visit. Supporters who had just filled the seats in Linz were already booking travel to Germany. The Filipino diaspora doesn't ask for permission to rally behind their champion. Now, imagine you are the Stuttgart tournament director. You post a standard injury replacement update. By that evening, your tournament is a top trend across Southeast Asia. The Filipino community all over Europe is mobilizing with the passion of a political rally. Ticket sales skyrocket. The online conversation suddenly revolves around a 20-year-old lefty who's a newcomer to the event. That is the distinct influence Alexandra Eala brings with her. This trend was already obvious in Linz after her first-round victory over the hometown player Julia Grabber. Eala stood for her on-court interview and created a moment that was bigger than tennis. She began in English, thanking the event and the fans for the kind reception. She then switched fluidly into Tagalog, speaking directly to her Filipino supporters with heartfelt thanks and obvious emotion. I find it incredible. I'm so happy with how they've embraced me and welcomed the Filipinos. I suppose it's a great match since so many of them are here. So I'm just so thankful for the warm welcome. That move, connecting directly with her people and treating fans not as observers but as partners, is precisely why the Queen's arrival story isn't just hype. It's the acknowledgement of a powerful, genuine connection. Even her rival in Linz could feel the force of that support. In her second-round match against Ostapenko, the Filipino fans were so loud and passionate that the former French Open winner complained to the umpire mid-match. At one tense moment, Ostapenko sarcastically challenged a heckler to come down and play. After her win, she spoke to the audience with a clear mix of frustration and awe. "You all were a huge help to me today." When your fan base can rattle a Grand Slam champion so much that she addresses them during and after the match, you're not just competing anymore. You are shaping the very atmosphere. Now that same power travels with Eala to Stuttgart. The Porsche Arena seats over 4,500 fans, and Stuttgart has one of the largest Filipino populations in Germany. The result is obvious. Alexandra Eala is about to make an indoor clay court in southern Germany feel like a little piece of Manila. Flags will be flying. Chants will fill the air. The energy will be palpable, and she is walking onto that court fully prepared. Under the guidance of Sandro Vanni on site, her European clay season coaching team with backing from Joan Bosch and the Rafa Nadal Academy in Mallorca has her strategically sharp and mentally focused. The defeat against Ostapenko was a hard-fought battle, not a lopsided affair. Her victory over Gracheva was commanding. Her ability on clay is unmistakable. The only real question is how fast she can turn her practice court mastery into victories at the highest level under the stadium lights with the fans roaring her name. The tournament itself acknowledged her presence with clear respect. The organizers of the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix did not simply bury the news of her entry. They made it a feature. Now attendees can eagerly await seeing Alexandra compete. That choice of words was deliberate. Stuttgart is one of the most respected WTA 500 tournaments all year. They don't need to generate hype for replacement players. They decided to position Eala's entry as an event to look forward to. This signals official recognition that she isn't just taking a slot, she's an attraction. As the first major indoor clay tournament of the year, it sets the stage for Madrid, Rome, and Roland Garros. Every round Eala advances in Stuttgart generates more momentum, impacting not only her ranking, but the greater narrative of Filipino tennis emerging as a legitimate global power. This isn't just an idea. Filipino supporters are already arranging flights to Madrid. Online communities are organizing viewing events throughout the Philippines and even in Europe.